Hello, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Eric Kande, and I'm always excited to have you guys here. So, continuation of our making of Mo's popularly called our shoe in the nation where I am. This is the pattern which was cut. If you have not watched the part one, please go and watch the part one so you can understand where we're coming from. All right. So, placing of the pattern on the leather to bring out the allowance. So as you can see here, I've already marked the dot where I'll be applying my gum. So what the first thing I need to do here is to skive the edges of the leather where I'll be placing the other parts of the leather. So I'm going to be skiving the edges. Now the reason why I'm skiving is to remove the thickness and so that it will show on the face of the leather when we're lasting. So we sketch the edges right, and once you're done with sketching of the edges, then we can go to our application of gum. Alright, this is the application of the gumming. So I just put gum at the allowance edges. That's where we're placing the other design on, leather design on. So those of us that have been watching me, I'm sure you understand what I'm doing already. So just put gum at the edges. We can see the mark there. That is this mark. This mark you see there separates the allowance from the main leather. So this is the allowance edges I'm putting I'm applying my gum on. And once it gets dry, I'm going to place the other upper design on this particular upper. So let's apply gum also on that upper design. Let's apply gum on this. Applying gum on the edges also round. As you can see, I'm going to apply it on this round. So just that place. Okay, I'm picking up the second one also. So those are the places where I'll be gumming with the other part of the upper. Alright, I'm sure you understand that. So let's go, guys. Alright, so we'll place that on one side. Then now the next thing we need to do is to gum them together. So we're laying this. Can you see now? Can you see what we're trying to do now? Following the mark parts where we already marked there. So to give us the accurate placement where we need to place. So check it out on the last. Check it out on the last. You can see here is well properly laid down, and this is looking very, very cool. Okay, so that's the same thing is going to happen to the next one. So just pick up the upper parts and lay it very well, following the mark that you already marked there. So those are the things that you need to do to follow up on this. Just use your mallet or your hammer to just beat just gently, nothing much. And the next thing we're doing now is to stitch. So stitching is very, very simple. Just follow through with your machine. And one thing about stitching is, especially for beginners, you just need to keep practicing. And you can use maybe an off-cut leather to stitch, and so you're going to get straight. So keep practicing. It doesn't get perfect the first day, so just keep practicing. As you can see, I've already stitched the leather together, and it's looking so cool. Please make sure that when you're stitching, you focus, because stitching can be a bit dicey, so that you don't have any injury. So just make sure that you focus on what you're stitching, and make sure that your legs are not on the press foot of the machine after you're done stitching. And also you can switch off your the switch of the machine when you're done stitching. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is the design. That's the design I want to place where my pendant placement. That's what I'm drawing out here, where I'm putting my pendants. The pattern will come from pendants. All right, so I'm going to be cutting this out for you to see. I'm going to split them into two. Remember that it's a pair. So I'm cutting this out outside the line, as you can see here. Cutting them out outside the line. It's very important I cut outside the line so that when I finish gumming, I'll be able to cut it very well. That's the reason why I do that personally, and it works perfectly well for me. So I'm going to pick my pendants, pick some pieces of leather, and cut the strap of the pendant. That means the pendant holder. What's going to be holding the pendant? And you can use I didn't take any measurements. I just tried to look at the holes of the pendants, and I just cut what I know fitting into the holes. You just look at the holes, but do make sure that it is something straight, very straight. So that's what I did here in order to get my pendant holder. Once I'm done cutting, I'm then gonna apply my gum on all the holders. I'm gonna apply my gum on the holder. I hope you can see them clearly. So I'm gonna apply my gum on them. Yes, as you can see there, applying my gum on everything there, one after the other, making sure that the gum gets to the right places that it needs to get to. Now this strap holder is gonna pass through the pendants, and it's gonna pass through the pendant. So if I see any excesses that maybe that is not as straight as I want, I just cut it a little out. Then I apply my gum on it, and once it get dry, then I move to the next thing by um, passing the pendant through the leathers through the pendants or holders. Can you see? That's what I'm talking about there. And you see, this is what we wanted to achieve. It's very simple. It's something that you just need to just follow through with what we see here. And maybe as time goes on, when you become a pro, you can develop on yourself. But just follow through with what you see here. If you're enjoying my video and learning one or two things from my video, please, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. When you like and do all this, you're helping to promote the video and also to help us create more videos. And this is the only way we can reach you. And what you're watching here, you can see that it's something that is well detailed, and you definitely sure for the shoe lover and those who want to learn the shoe craft will definitely learn something cool from there. All right, guys. So now that we passed the strap, let us through the strap holders. Then just got some exercises I'm seeing there out of it. All right. So I'll place them one side, put them one side. I'm gonna pick up my that's the pendant strap where the pendant will be resting on. Can you see what I'm doing here? I hope you can see them very well. So I'm trying to set where I'm going to cut the holders to pass through. So this is what I'm trying to set here. So can you see? This is very very important that you just mark them where the leathers will be passing through. They'll be penetrating through that particular place. Okay, let me quickly get my punching board. Remember, please kindly use a punching board when you want to cut things like this. You can just use your punching board. If you have something that you can use to cut so that it will not spoil your table. All right, so this is what I'm cutting out. I'm cutting where the leathers will pass through. Can you see what I did there? This is what I was trying to achieve. Where the leathers will pass through, that's the strap holders will pass through. All right, so you can see it. This is working perfectly well for me. All right, once it passes through it, I'm going to lay it, and I'm going to allow it to relax. Please make sure it relax. Make sure it doesn't tangle. Make sure it relax. It's important that the pendant relax on the leather. If it doesn't relax on the leather, it will affect you when you are fixing it. So can you see what I want to achieve here? Once I set this and I measure in the middle, what I'm going to do is to take my marker, because I need to set this very well. The setting is very very important, but let me skype this first. Because what if I don't skype it? The thickness of the leather will show there, and it will not be cool. All right, so skype it and also apply gum to hold the strap holders down with the leather itself, and allow it to get dry for a little while. Once it get dry, then you're good to go. So the same thing we do to the next one. Once we're through with the next one, then I'm going to pick up my lining. And then I'm going to line this. So I need to cover the back of the leather where the pendant is resting on. So to cover it so it won't be visible that there's anything like that on at the back. Okay, so we're applying the gum on it right now. Cover it and apply the gum. Make sure the gum gets to where it needs to get to, especially the edges. The edges are very important. When you're applying your gum and you're having any cuts, please make sure that you apply gum on the edges. The edges are very important so that there won't be any opening in the nearest future. Maybe when the customer is wearing the shoe, or when you're wearing the shoe. Very important that you apply your gum at every part, especially the edges is very very important. So once this is done, I'm going to apply gum also on the lining. I'm going to apply gum on the lining. Once I'm done with this, so let's apply gum on the lining. I didn't mark where I'm going to lay my strap on the pendant leather. So that's the reason why you see me apply my gum there. Once it gets dry, then I'm going to lay the pendant on it. See, I'm already laying my pendant on it, and this I'm just gonna pick up my hammer just to just hit it a little at the edges to be sure that it has gummed very well, stained on the lining very well. Just hold it together, just little gently. You don't need to rush yourself towards that, or you don't need to eat it too much. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm gonna cut this out. Cut this out. Now I'm gonna be cutting on the lines that you can see on the leather itself. So let's cut out now. Let's cut out now. Sorry if you cannot see this very well, but now I'm trying to show you. Okay, so I'm cutting out those excesses that were there before, cutting them out, and also cut this out also. Cut this out also. All right. Okay, as you can see there, we're working on this, and this is coming out beautifully well. All right, so that is what we are doing here, making sure that everything is well laid, and making sure that I'm I'm doing the right thing. Okay, all right, guys. For those who have been watching me and you're watching me to this moment, please kindly subscribe, like the video you're watching. Comment if you have any question. Please place it in the comment section. I will definitely answer your question, whatever question it is. Please put it on the comment section. And guys, I want you to know that this shoemaking training is the tutorial is a very cool tutorial. If you can follow through with what I'm doing here, you will definitely learn something and you'll be able to make your own shoe. All right, I need to tape. I call it taping. I need to tape the edges of the shoe, that's the half shoe. So before placing the pendant, so now I'm taking what we call it locally here, the tongue. We call it the tongue. That's what I'm using here to tape the edges. Now you can also use your soft leather. You can use the soft leather lining to tape the edge, depending on whatever you want. But for this half shoe, I'm using my tongue. So I'm going to sew this at the edges of the leather, just at the edges. It has to be very close to the edge, because what you want to do is just to tape the edge. So you don't need to make it wide. It has to just be very tiny, very tiny. As you can see, just follow through what I'm doing here. I am sewing the edges of the leather with the tongue that I said earlier on. So that's what you're seeing me doing here. We're done with that. Then I'm gonna pick up my leather and also pick up my gum and my gum brush. So we're gonna apply gum at the edges of this taping. We're gonna apply gum at the edges of the taping and at the back of the leather. So just apply gum gently. Don't allow the gum to stain the leather itself. So in case you are, maybe when you're working with suede, you can just place maybe a paper at the back to cover up the leather, so the gum will not stain the leather. So you can see I'm applying my gum at the edges of the tongue that I said on. That's the one I stitched. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Okay. So make sure that the gum gets to the necessary places that it needs to get to. That's what you're seeing me doing. And after I'm done with this, I'm gonna apply my gum at the back of the leather. Okay. So just the places that you also just at the edges, also the back of the leather, of the upper rather, at the edges. Okay, so this is where the tongue that you're taping will also be laying on. So right now I'm gonna pick up my iron. I call it my iron last to in order for me to gum the taping together with the leather. All right, so let's be done with this. And once we're done with this, we pick up our iron last. All right, the original iron last is a bit heavy, so you need to be careful so it doesn't fall. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing now is just we eat the edges and be folding them one after the other. Fold them gently one after the other. You can see this is what we call the taping the edges. So you just bring it. It's like more like we're sewing inside out. So turn it. That was me turning up. So I'm turning them inside. I'm turning it inside. You can see. I hope you can see this very well, very clearly. I hope you can see them. So all those angles that are a bit difficult to fold, you can just use your leather to separate, your scissors to separate them, and you're gonna eat them very well. So eat them very well, then lay them together. As you can see what I'm doing here. It's very simple. Once you follow this process and you can watch the video over and over again, then you'll definitely get it right. So the same thing we're gonna do to the other leg. Put this at the edge and also hit it with a hammer Once all the difficult places, we're gonna separate them with our scissors. Then we eat it with the hammer. Start folding, and we fold around till the very last. All right. Once I'm done with the tipping of the edges of the shoe, then I'm going to fix my pendant on the leather. Please, when you're fixing the pendant, make sure you set it very well, that it's straight, because this thing can be a bit dicey if you're not setting it very well. You just see that after placing the pendant, that it is not straight. So I'm going to set the pendant to be straight. Once you're done with the setting, then you can apply your gum on the edges of the lead of the pendant holder. Just apply your gum on the edges and pick up your last again. Pick up last again. Place where you'll be putting your pendants. Just mark them where you'll be placing the pendants. Mark them so you'll be very sure when you mark them. That you'll be sure. Apply gum on those places where you marked, just lightly. You don't need much gum there, because you're still gonna stitch it to hold it. Because the gum is not gonna be what's gonna hold it. It's just going to be the stitching that will hold it. But the gum is needed before we stitch. That's the reason why we're doing that. All right. So this is what we're doing right now. So we're gonna let it get dried. Once it get dried, I'm going to also lay it on it. So the same thing I'm doing to the second leg. And now the setting, this is the setting. As you can see, I'm trying to set it very well. In case there is any setting that is not correct, I'm going to open it again to be very sure. Like you can see there, I've set it very well for you to be very sure. Okay, so once I'm satisfied with my settings, I'm going to use my hammer to just eat it a little bit too, for it to hold very well. Lay down aside, pick up the next one, and also do the same thing to it. Once the most when you're making a shoe, most times what you do to the right leg is what you're gonna do to the left leg. Unless you're being creative and you want to do something else differently. All right. So now we're taking the machine to the sewing machine, and I mean the leather rather, to the sewing machine, which we're sewing right now. We're sewing the upper, or stitching the upper. Stitch at the edge of your pendant holder. Please stitch at the edge of pendant holder. That's where you need to hold very well. Once you're done with that, use the scissors to cut it out. Use the scissors to cut out. Do the same thing to the other side, and you're gonna do the same thing to the other leg. Once I'm done with that, pick up my leather lining now. So it's time for me to line my leather. I'm gonna pick up my lining. I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna mark it, set it very well. I'm gonna mark it like this. As you can see, I'm marking it, and this is where we're almost getting to this end of the setting of our upper. It's very interesting. I want you to know that setting of upper is very interesting. Once you have set your upper, then the next thing you need to do is to last. So I'll be applying my gum right now. We're applying my gum on. Now we're not going to apply gum on every part of the shoe, because later on we're going to put our front stay when we're lasting. So we're going to apply our gum on towards the upper part. As you can see here, that's where I'm applying my gum. This particular side, this is where you apply your gum. You're not applying your gum on every part. If you apply your gum on every part, then you'll not be able to put your front stay on the shoe. So you just apply your gum just on this particular part of the shoe. Follow as instructed. So during our lasting period, you will understand the reason why we did so. Okay, so the same thing, because I already marked it down, I'm going to apply my gum also on the lining. I already know the place I'm going to mark. That's the same place that I applied my gum on the leather. So towards the same place. That's what we're doing here. So as you can see, I'm going to do that to the other part of the shoe, that second leg of the shoe also. The same thing. The process goes on the same way. Once I'm done with this, then I'll let it get dried a bit, but let's finish with this application of gum on this particular side. You allow it get dried a bit, that like the other one is getting dried already. And once I'm done, I'm going to lay the upper on it. I'm going to lay the upper on it. I'm going to lay the upper on it gently. Make sure that it lays very well. Make sure it lays very well. Once you're done, once it's satisfied with the laying, then you can go and press. You can go and press. All right, so the same thing goes with the second one. Same thing goes with the second one. I'm gonna press. I'm gonna also gum the second one. Lay the second one on the lining, and also gum it on it. Let's just lay it together. Let's lay it together, guys. I'm sure this video is impacting you, and you are really learning a lot. For you to get to this point, that means you are really interested in making your own mold shoe, or also making for a client. But just make sure you go through my process. But if you haven't liked the video, I want to ask a question: why haven't you liked the video? By now you should have liked the video. Support us, share this video, comment on this video, and let us know where you're watching us from. So, and it's gonna be fun, guys. Let me know where you're watching us from. Yeah. And also right now I'm going to be cutting out the leather, the excesses of the lining, cutting out the excesses of the lining. You can see that I haven't cut the leather exactly on the edges of the. I've cut the line on the exactly on the edges of the leather, and that's because I need to stitch. So once I'm done stitching, then I can now cut on the edges of the lining. So all the excesses here, that's what I'm cutting out. All this is here. So I'm gonna take it to my machine once I'm done. I take it to my machine, but I need to be very sure of some things that needs to be done. I'm taking this to the edges of the machine, and I have to stitch. All right, we're stitching in between the taping and the leather. So that's the edges in between the taping and leather. You're gonna stitch in between round. Your stitching might be a bit dicey because of the pendant holder that is there, but do not worry. Just turn it like I'm turning this here, and turn it back. Use your reverse. If you have the industrial machine, use your reverse. When you get some spot angles, you just turn and use your reverse. And use the reverse just 1 or 2 steps. Then you go back to the normal way you have been stitching before. Okay, so I'm gonna stitch this round. I'm gonna stitch this round. Once I'm done, yes, I'm almost done stitching this round. The stitching is going to make sense, and it's been done neatly. Make sure that your stitchings do not go outside the line so that it will be perfectly straight. Okay, you're gonna do the same thing to the other leg. Like I said, whatever you do to one leg is what you do to the other leg in shoemaking, most especially. So here we are. We're going and also stitching the other leg. All right, guys. So once I'm done stitching this, then I know that I'm getting ready to last my my shoe. But before I last my shoe, when I'm done with this, I'm going to cut out the excesses at the edge of the last edge, at the edge of the upper, rather. Pardon me. Okay, so this is me cutting it. Let's cut. You have to cut it gently. Cut it gently so that you won't be cutting the main leather itself. So you can see I'm cutting the excesses that is remaining so that the edges be very neat. Make sure it is very neat, and the outcome will definitely wow you. All right, so let's cut this together again. You can see cutting the edges of the shoe, the excess and leather lining. Remember that these are original leather linings, they're authentic, so there's nothing for you to be scared of. All right, so once we're done cutting this, then we'll put this aside. Let's cut this. Let's cut this, and we'll know that we're definitely done with our uppers. We're definitely done with our uppers. Yes, this is looking beautiful and awesome. So I'm gonna pick up my last, and this is the last I'm using for the shoe. Pick up my last, and this last is what I use in drawing the insole. I'll be using also, yes, to draw the insole. So now I'm picking up my you can pick up a cardboard or paper to draw your insole. And this particular design, I'm making a size 40 half shoe. So, but because of the nature of the last, I'm gonna be reducing it a bit because I'm still gonna apply weight. So if you use the exact measurement of that last to do it that exact size, it will be big for you. So you need to use if you're making a size 40, use a size 39 last to make your your shoe. Use a 39 to make your half shoe. That's for half shoe. Please note for most shoe. For most shoe, it's very important that you note that those things that a lot of people do not know. So that's why they ask, this is big for me. Just use a size that is the next size below that is going to come out perfectly well for you. So you draw this out. Once you're done drawing it out, then you can take it to your cardboard. But make sure you draw it out that everything is perfectly matching the last. Then you can proceed. Now that we're done cutting the pattern for the insole, then we transfer it to a cardboard, and that's what I drew here. Transfer it to a cardboard and cut it out very well. Cut it out very well, and after cutting it out very well, you're going to also cut the other leg. So let's cut this out very well. Okay, as you can see, I'm cutting this out perfectly well. I'll pick up my cardboard, the remaining part, lay it. Laying them also on upside down, and also cutting out the other leg. So remember that we're having a left, right, and left leg. So that's what I just did there, cutting it out. And once I'm done cutting this out, I'm going to pick up what we call here locally a Mako foam. It's a bit foamy. It's a bit foamy. That's where it be for our instep. Or instep. You're gonna see it right. You're gonna see it right now. You can get it in your local store where shoemaking materials are being sold. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this up. This is what they call the Mako foam rather, the Mako foam, and I'm gonna apply my gum on the cardboard and also on the Mako foam itself. So let's draw out the place where we'll be applying our gum. Okay, so marking it right now to know the exact place I'll be applying my gum. So as you can see, that's what I'm trying to do here. Making sure that everything is well and drawn out very well. So I would have loved to cut this out, but no, let me just keep on with this and apply my gum around on the cardboard surface where the instep will be. That's the foamy instep. Okay, so as you can see that I'm applying my gum, every part of it needs to, the gum needs to be applied on every part. Yes, this is it. So we're going to apply the same thing on the other leg. So once the gum is dried, then we can proceed to gumming. But let's apply gum on the other leg. Remember that we're still going to apply our gum also on the Mako surface. We're going to apply our gum also on the Mako surface because this cannot just go without you applying gum on the Mako surface. So let's apply gum on the Mako surface. Yes, it was after applying this and we allow it get dry a little bit. That's when we can proceed with our laying of the cardboard on the Mako foam. Okay, so as you can see, I'm already making sure that every part of the places I marked are being the gum is getting there. When I notice another place, I'm going to just quickly do that, apply my gum on it and move. So I'm going to allow this get dry. Once this get dry, then I'm going to lay my cardboard on it. So I hope you're enjoying this video. Guys, this video still has another part. Please make sure that you watch the lasting of this half shoe. I'm going to be completing the shoe and I'm going to also be building a sole for the half shoe. I'm very sure you will learn a lot from this video that you're watching. So guys, let's lay this together. Let's lay this together. As you can see there, I'm laying them already. Oh, that is it. So gonna pick up my mallet. Use my mallet to just eat it a little gently. There's no need for it to rush. Just gently. Okay. Yes, when I'm done with this, with the malleting, then I'm going to go with my cutting. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this out. Let's cut this out together. We'll cut this out together. And once we cut this out together, we're gonna cut it on at the edge of each cardboard. And can you see what we're having here? We're already having the instep. We're making the instep of the half shoe we want to make. So this is how we make the instep of the half shoe. Okay, so right now you can see me cutting these excesses out. Once I'm done with the cutting excesses, then I need to make sure that the both of them are well rimed. So what I need to do now is to once I'm done with them, I'm sure, then what I'm going to do right now is to apply my gum on the edges of this cardboard, just on the edges alone, not everywhere, just on the edges alone. And this is just a temporary application of gum because I want to file them around so that the both of them will be the same. Please, it's important that you do this because if you do not scratch it around, you might be having one leg looking somehow and the other leg looking another way. So I'm just applying my gum just on the edges. Once I'm done, then I'm gonna glue them together. So let's apply a gum on the other one also. So it's gonna, as you can see here, I'm applying my gum on the other one also. Yes, round, round. We're gonna do the same thing. Okay. All right, guys. We're almost done with this part two of this video, guys. I'm gonna be posting the part three. I want you to make sure you watch it. And also, once you do your carry out a project, you can send me comment on the comment section. Let me see what you've done. I'm very excited to go on this journey with you. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next post.